Okay, so good day everyone, and this is Meldrin A. M. Puerto, the last reporter of the Group 5. And my assigned topic is the continuation of the Bandura's capability and learning. So let's begin in the vicarious capability. So what is vicarious capability? So in human have involves an advanced capacity for observational learning that enables them to expand their knowledge and skills on the basis of information conveyed in modeling influences. Indeed, virtually all learning phenomena resulting from direct experience can occur vicariously by observing people behavior and its consequences from them. In perspective taking form, the observers came to experience the emotional state of the others by putting themselves in their place and imagining how they might feel. The the formational process we have discussed earlier fall under this category or simply the observational learning. So, rather than direct hands-on instruction, vicarious learning is derived from indirect sources such as hearing and seeing. Example indirect sources include when an individual sees or hears a live situation, or watch a video, or listening a story, or reading books, or imagine a situation. A person can learn a behavior by observing the actions of others and the consequences of those actions. Like, for example, a younger sister observing an older sister being rewarded for a particular behavior is more likely to repeat that behavior herself. And that is the example of the vicarious capability. The second one is the forethought capability. So people anticipate the likely consequences of their prospective action. They set goals for themselves and they otherwise plan sources for action that are likely to produce desired outcomes. Through experience for the forethought, people motivate themselves and guide their action anticipatory. This is the process of applying thoughts to an action to achieve the desired goals or outcomes. The act of the forethought allows an individual to envisage an outcome and attempt to act in ways in which to manifest this. So, also the ability of the individuals to anticipate the consequences of his or her actions and the actions of others. So, in social cognitive theory, the forethought is a key element in hearing behavior. So that is the forethought capability, and the next type is the self-regulatory capabilities. So, in the absence of internal standards and self-sanctions, individuals would behave like weather vanes, constantly shifting directions to conform to whatever momentary influence happened to impinge upon them. Theories that seek to explain human behavior are surely the product of the external rewards for of punishment present a concrete image of human nature because people possess self-directive capabilities that enable them to exercise to control over their thoughts, feelings, and actions. By the consequences they produce themselves, social functioning is their revelate by their interpret by self-produced and external sources of influence. Self-regulatory operates through a set of physiological subfunctions that must be developed and mobilized for self-directed change. Neither intention nor desires alone has much effect if people lack of capability for exercising influence over their own motivation and behavior. It is refers to the people ability to exert control over their thoughts, feeling, and action, as I said earlier. For example, the capability to inhibit prejudice or make oneself feel better or select healthy foods. His work brought together behavioral and cognitive components in which he concluded that humans are able to control their behavior through a process human as self-regulations. This led to his known process that contains self-observations, judgment, and self-response. Okay, self-regulation is the ability to control one's behavior, emotions, and thoughts in the pursuit of long-term goals. One more specifically, emotional self-regulation refers to the ability to manage disruptive emotions and impulsive or impulse. In the other words, to think before acting. And that is the self-regulatory capabilities. The last type of the Bandura's capability in learning is the self-reflective capabilities. By reflecting on their varied experience and on what they know, they can derive genetic knowledge about themselves and the world around them. In verifying true thoughts, self reflective means they monitor their ideals, act on them, or predict occurrences from them, judge from the result of the adequacy of their thoughts, and change them accordingly. So, some example of self-reflective are the person who is struggling to manage a chronic illness but feels confidence that they can get back on track and improve their healthy by working hard and following their doctor's recommendation. So, before I end my report, let me tell you what is the social learning theory. So, the social learning theory, produced by Albert Bandura, emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reactions of others. So, social learning theory is considered how both environmental and cognitive factors interact to influence human learning and behavior. They then evaluate the effect of those behaviors and observing the positive and negative consequences that follow. Also, the social learning is defined as learning through the observation of other people's behavior. So, it is a process of social change in which people learn from each other in ways that can benefit wider social ecological system. So, social learning is important also because life or work is social. It helps replicate the realities that learners are likely to face when they are required to make actual decisions and solve actual problems in the workplace. So, Bandura's social learning theory examines how behavior is imitated by others, especially in children. The importance of social learning theory can unveil new methods of teaching. This can be looking at how children copy behavior, identification, and implementing this learning by doing strategy. So we have here examples of social learning theory, which is the children's behavior. The behavior shown by the children by observing their parents or their other family member is the most prominent examples of the social learning theory. If the children feels that their behavior is being rewarded by the others, they keep on imitating that behavior. So also, social learning theory is daghan kang makuha na mga benefit like sa increased engagements across disengaged learners, student developing organization skills, and encourage collaboration. So that is the social learning theory by Albert Bandura. In conclusion, social learning theory certainly has its place in our education system and offers us a greater understanding of the way our students learn. However, it is important for teachers to be aware that if strategies are not implemented correctly or are used constantly, they are unlikely to be reflective. So that's all my report, and I hope you learned something about it. Thank you and have a good day.